Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for allowing me to contribute to this very, very important motion and to congratulate Senator Mofire for bringing up the issue. Mr. Speaker, food security is the first line of defense for any country. It is the most important activity for any commander-in-chief. Mr. Speaker, hunger kills pretty much in the similar way as the person who invades the country with a bomb or with guns. That's why countries that take the security of their citizens seriously ensure that they invest very well and adequately in food security. Mr. Speaker, I have listened to this debate, but this debate has been there. If you review the Hansards for both houses, year in, year out, we discuss the issue of famine, we discuss the issue of surplus maize from farmers not being bought, we discuss the issue of a man, one man or other, taking advantage of the drought situation in order to make themselves wealthy. Mr. Speaker, if you review our Hansards, you will find that this very debate happens every year in this House and in the other House. Mr. Speaker, even as I support the motion, as a House, we need to introspect and ask what we can do differently in order to resolve this issue. Because if you're speaking to a government and complaining about corrupt ways of dealing with a disaster in a country, and you speak over it, and next year you come back again and do the same debate, and there is no change, it means we are doing the same thing over and over again, knowing very well it is going to fail. Mr. Speaker, I'm therefore requesting that beyond what Senator Mofire has asked, that as a House that exists to defend and protect devolved governance, we need to know that the people of Kenya devolved agriculture, they devolved health, they devolved water services in order for the people of Kenya to take charge of matters affecting their livelihood. So as a House, we must come up with resolutions that will help to once and for all make the governments in this country, both national and county governments, to take the issue of food security more seriously than they have taken it. Mr. Speaker, isn't it ironical that in the same county you're hearing of people complaining of surplus food, while in another place we hear of children dying because there is no food? You hear of farmers in Nyandarua asking for the government to go and collect potatoes for free and feed people, and in another location, a child is on the ground crawling because they cannot eat. Mr. Speaker, what other evidence do we have to know that we don't have it right as a country on a matter of food security? Mr. Speaker, the investment we put in our army should be secondary only to the investment that we put in food security. So of all the resolutions or the asks that Senator Mofire has made, I would want to urge this House to go beyond that and ask for even more radical changes that will see this country deal seriously with the issue of food security. Mr. Speaker, I know both houses are currently looking at how we can ensure that the CDF survives, because the CDF is a fund that has supported development that people are happy with. Mr. Speaker, why can we not have a county food subsidy fund also being established? Mr. Speaker, this government promised that it will protect the citizens of this country. And these citizens include the 2 children who were saved recently, I forget in what location, the ones who were crawling on the ground with their bellies because they had not eaten. We need to put in place a fund also that will ensure no life is lost because of hunger. So among the suggestions that are being put there, I dare suggest that this House should recommend the establishment of a food subsidy fund per county, equitably provided in order for the counties to move. I further suggest that the Council of Governors be made to understand that agriculture is devolved. So if they come up with an inter-county caucus that can ensure that what is happening in Nyandarua is able to save what is happening in Kajiado. What is happening in Uasin Gishu and Bungoma can provide support for what is happening in West Pokot. That is why we have an intergovernmental clause in the Constitution to facilitate cooperation, consultation for the benefit of the citizens of this country. So beyond what is happening, I suggest that an intergovernmental and inter-county mechanism be put in place to ensure that we have serious conversation about protecting and ensuring food and nutrition security for this country. Mr. Speaker, as we continue speaking, I want to also bring it to our attention. One of the things we should be oversighting is how well the devolved governance in the Constitution has been achieved. Mr. Speaker, everybody is complaining about the cereals board not doing what it is supposed to do. Mr. Speaker, the cereals board, properly speaking, should be an intergovernmental entity. And one of the things we need to do is to ask for the restructuring of that entity in order to have a conversation on food security that brings both actors at the national and the county levels to be able to address the issue of food reserves in this country. Mr. Speaker, the issue of one man, and I say one man because it is usually a man, riding on drought to make themselves wealthy must also stop. Food security needs to be taken so seriously that we cannot leave one minister to decide when to import what foodstuff. I'm also suggesting that a food security mechanism, national food security mechanism, be established. And on that entity, we should have farmers represented. Coffee farmers, potato farmers, maize farmers, to be represented on that entity so that when we want to import food, we should truly import because there is a need to import. The issue should be conducted in a transparent manner so that the decision to import maize is not a decision of one individual. The amount of maize we are importing should not be a decision of one individual. Where that maize comes from should not be the decision of one individual. If we take this seriously, then the issue of food security will be in the hands of the people of Kenya. Mr. Speaker, I stand to support. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Senator, for your contribution. Senator Waheti Ndwati Veronica.